Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if we could have your attention, please. We are now joined by our runner-up finisher, Erik Jones, driver of the number 20 DEWALT FLEXVOLT Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. This is his third top five and best finish at Richmond International Raceway. His previous best was fourth in April of 2015. So, Erik, nice job out there. Just tell us a little bit about your race this evening.
Yeah, definitely a big step here for me at Richmond. I honestly didn't know we ran that good here in the past. I just felt like we struggled a little bit, and I've struggled a little bit here. And just felt like I learned a lot about the track tonight and got better myself, but didn't have anything for the 18. So, we'll have to work on that. But, we were second best for sure. We were running away from everybody else, but we finished second to him, I think, about 5 times now. So it'd be nice to hopefully beat him one of these times here before the year's out.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Erik. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We will get a microphone to you. Okay, we'll start over here with Hank.
How you doing, Hank Kurz with AP? What's it like to be chasing somebody who you can't even see for half the night because he's so good?
It's tough, unfortunately, the second restart of the first restart of the night, we had to start back in 7th, and for that run, we were faster than him a majority of the run, but I had to fight my way through traffic, and by the time I got there, I'd kind of burnt my stuff up, and we thought we'd be good after that and didn't really do anything on the next pit stop. And then, unfortunately, we were too tight on the last run, so just didn't keep up with adjustments enough as we needed to, but it's definitely tough every time you're chasing a guy like that.
Okay, additional questions for Erik? Okay, we'll go here in the middle with Nick.
Nick DeGroot, Motorsport.com. Obviously, you don't want to finish second to Kyle, but Chris Gayle is leading that team. That's going to be your crew chief next year. Does that get you excited to know you get to work with him next year in the Cup Series?
Yeah, for sure. Chris has done a really nice job on the Xfinity side, and I've had the chance to work with him some over here in the 54 car last year, and we were able to win a race here at Chicagoland. And, yeah, for sure. Like I said, he's done a really nice job, and I think we'll have a really good effort over there. And as well, he just deserves it. He's been at JGR for a long time and deserves that chance.
Okay, we'll take our next question here in the middle.
Dave Lawrence, Richmond Suburban News. You said you're beginning to, learn the track. What are you learning about the track here tonight?
Well, it's funny. It's nothing like Darlington, but the surface is very similar in the way it's abrasive. It wears tires out. It's slick for pretty much the whole run, and for me, it's those are tracks I've always struggled at a little bit, just my driving style, and I feel like I've been able to adapt a little bit here in the last few months to some of these tracks a little bit better, and for sure in the race I felt like I was learning a lot about just things you can do on exit, get a little bit more drive later in the run, things you can do in the center to help out, and really before I just never felt like I had a good grip on the track, and really felt like I just needed new tires on and really had to charge with new tires to make any speed, and I felt like we were able to make more speed in the long haul, which is definitely what you need to do here.
Any final questions for Erik? Okay, Erik, thanks for coming in. Good luck.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could have your attention, please. We are now joined by winner of the Virginia 529 College Savings 250, Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 NOS Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. This is Kyle's 84th career win, extending his series record. His 6th win at Richmond, earning a perfect driver rating of 150.0. So, Kyle, certainly a dominant performance out there tonight. Just tell us about your win.
Yeah, it was unexpected, that's for sure. That's pretty much the word of the night for me anyways. Probably many others would expect that type of performance from us in this NOS Energy Drink Camry, but all things considered, in practice earlier on today, we just were kind of fighting it. Just didn't really feel very good, but Chris Gayle and these guys did a great job. They went to work and found some things wrong and then worked on it. For qualifying there, we weren't very good either, and that was kind of setting the tone a little bit more for what I thought our race car was going to be, but that first run, we kind of got mired about 4th. That was about all the progress we could make. And then my guys on pit road pumped out an awesome pit stop and got us the lead. And then Chris also made some really good adjustments to the car in order to get it handling perfect for me pretty much there on out. We made slight adjustments every pit stop just to kind of make it better. We're always trying to be perfectionists, and we did a good job of that tonight. So car was awesome there in the long runs and in the late going. So hopefully that's something that we can work on and look towards for tomorrow for us.
Okay, we are also joined by crew chief Chris Gayle. Chris, certainly a big week for you now with the win tonight. So just talk a little bit about the race from your point of view.
Yeah, the race pretty much echo what Kyle said. You know, we weren't very happy with the car in practice. Go through practice, you kind of work on it, and it's really tough here because you practice either early in the morning with nowhere on the racetrack, you qualify during the heat of the day, you never really have the conditions that you're going to race in at night. So you never really feel 100% about where your car is and where it's going to be for night. You know, you kind of know what you need to adjust at night, but you kind of just, the better it is in the daytime, the more you kind of know you can put those adjustments in, you'll be good. But when you're not really good in the daytime, you don't necessarily have that confidence. So I think that was one of the days for us. And then Kyle said when kind of qualified 7th, and that's not where we expect to qualify, then it kind of set the tone. And I talked to him a little before the race and was like, hey, there are days where you think you have the best car and it turns out bad for you. And then there are days where you don't always have the best car and it turns out a lot better in the race than you expected. So just stay optimistic about it. And I think he did a good job of doing that and always drives his butt off all race. And then I knew once, you know, we got to 4th, we were kind of trading lap times with the guys in front of us. We just needed to get in front of them. So, you know, I knew adjust on the car. He needed a few things a little different for him. And then once we got that, and if we could get clean air, we'd be in good shape.
Okay, we'll now open up for questions for Kyle and Chris. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll start over here with Tim and then go to Hank.
Kyle Temporell, Richmond Times-Dispatch. I think if my math is right, six wins in this series here and 4 in Sprint Cup. Why do you run so well here?
I'm not sure. There was definitely some years I went through some dry spell here, though. So, you know, it's not all the time, but certainly, you know, I have had some good years here, some good runs here, both in the Xfinity and the Sprint Cup side. And, man, that's 10 wins. I'd hate to see what the second place finish number is because that's a lot more than I think the wins are. So, you know, certainly it's been a good track for me over the years. I'm not sure why. I remember the first time I was here, I think I knocked every wall down. I was in a Roush truck back then, and it was a pretty gnarly day for me, but learned a lot, and then was able to get in that Hendrick Motorsports Busch car back here in 2004 and win that. That was my first Busch win, and 84 were those later. Here we are again. So it's been fun, and I like coming here. It's a neat little place, but certainly I guess you got to have optimistic expectations because, like Chris said, you know, you never have the optimum track conditions that you're going to race in at night.
Okay, we'll go to Hank, over to Bob, and then back to Chris.
Chris with AP. Kyle, what's it like to be racing and to almost be more likely to see the person behind you in front of you because you're almost catching up to them than it is to see them, you know, behind you?
It's unique circumstances, that's for sure. You know, I am appreciative that the race actually was a true race. It went the distance that it should have on those long green flag runs. That's what real racing is all about. I mean, sometimes there are days that the fast cars are out front and it does get stretched out a little bit, but you know, there are times too where the race is reversal. I mean, we're not going to have you know, .001 finishes every single weekend at every single venue. So this was just one of those days where we were really special, our car was, and we were hooked up. And, you know, thanks to everyone on this team that does such a great job at Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota that gives us good stuff to go out there and compete with.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob.
Well, Bob Pockers, ESPN. For Chris, was it important at all to get a win after the big announcement this week? And can you kind of talk about, will you be staying for Sundays and hanging out with the Furniture Row guys, or how are you preparing for your new role?
Yeah, it wasn't important to get a new win. I mean, not just because of the announcement. I mean, it's important to win every time. I mean, that's the expectation of this team. So, I mean, that's kind of just goes without saying. I'm glad we did that. On staying on Sundays and working, you know, that's kind of already started to happen. You guys probably didn't know, but I've been around for the last couple of weeks, if you've been watching a little bit. So I've kind of been doing that for a little bit, and we'll continue to do that for the rest of the year. And you know, maybe not Furniture Row per se, but it gives me kind of a unique perspective for all the Toyota teams to kind of see how everybody's doing things differently and kind of mold my team how I want to, you know, based on the goods and the bads of what I learn over the next, you know, 10, 11 races.
Okay, next question from Chris.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Congratulations on the win tonight. Kyle, you're 5 races away from tying your all-time wins in a season in the Xfinity Series at 13 in 2010. Do you think you can get there again?
I don't know how many races are left for me. Only 5 or 6, so it's going to be close. I'd like to say yes, but anything can happen. You know, you can get run over by a dirty driver, or you can have flat tires, or you can have something else happen. So It's all dependent on race conditions and what all happens. So certainly I'd like to think that our stuff is good enough, and for as bad as I thought we were today, we were able to score a win. So that means a lot, and look forward to finishing out strong with Chris Gayle, my buddy here, and being able to send him off on his way with a bon voyage of wins and trophies. So that'll be cool.
Any additional questions for Kyle or Chris? Okay, gentlemen, congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.